The views and opinions expressed on this podcast are not necessarily representative of the coalition or any other entity. This content is intended for mature audiences only.
Throwdown.
Yo, what is going on, people? Welcome to Throwdown, episode 163. I'm your host, Tony Polanco, and I'm joined by Emilio Lopez.
Sup, people? How's it going?
Carlos Romero.
Yo.
Brian Manjoma.
Hey guys, what's up?
And Brett Murdoch.
Star Wars.
Star Wars. Yo, okay, couple of things here. This is why I'm glad we have such a huge panel, because we have like two dudes missing. Brett's about to dip in a while, and we still have a good amount of people here to do the show, so that's pretty cool. And also, yeah, I'm back in the New York groove, man, from PSX,
man.
baby. Good times. If you want to know how much of a good time I had, please refer to the Throwdown special we recorded last night. I think it was last night we recorded. I don't know when the fuck we recorded. We recorded it a couple of days ago. Manny, when the hell did we record that thing? Monday?
Maybe to Monday?
No. Tuesday. Tuesday. It must have been Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Everything.
I like the answer to Monday. I think Maniacs actually got it right. It was to Monday.
To Monday. Yeah, to Monday. It was to Monday. Good day. Very good day. Today was fucking crazy, man. So, oh yeah. Quick thing, I want to give a shout out. I'll save this for a little later because I know Brett has to get out of here soon. Shout out to everybody I saw at PSX, and also check out the PSX special that we did for the coalition. It was me, Tatiana, Richard, and JJ. So check that out. I'll tell you more about it at the end of the show. But let's
fancy.
Yeah, it was pretty good. We're gonna change things up a little bit here. We're actually going back to kind of old Throwdown where it was mostly about games, but we also tossed in other shit, tech.
Rewinding.
Yo, it's crazy. All right, we gotta talk about the biggest news of the day, man. The biggest fucking news. This fucking net neutrality bullshit, man. Like,
here we go.
Yeah, the FCC decided to kill this shit. It's not dead yet. It still has to go through Congress, but it's like, damn it, we have to go through this shit every fucking time, man.
Well, yeah, because these motherfuckers want to start making. The thing is that, They think that they will, especially when you have the main guy over there who used to be, working for friggin' Verizon, Verizon, and all these other companies. They don't want that shit. They want you to sparse out every single thing. They want you to be paying separate price to push Netflix or any of those other things. That means that these guys can go and throttle anything they want, even fucking online gaming.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Well, they're also going about it a really shitty way. Like every time this push has been pushed before, it's been tried to be pushed. Is that yes, while we've been fighting this, their means for fighting back have gotten more and more nefarious, which is why it's a huge thing right now that we all need to kick up as much dust as possible and pray that Congress, I can't believe I'm saying these words, pray that Congress listens to us and does the right thing.
Yeah,
and that's putting faith in these fucking idiots. I also heard this thing. Tell me if you guys have heard this too. That apparently, 2 million votes or whatever. I don't know. They did they basically they faked 2 million people that were like, yeah, net neutrality is great. You should go for it. Do you guys hear about that shit?
They did, but that was actually with very little investigation, and a lot of that had to do with what they call the quote-unquote John Oliver effect, where, and John Oliver is probably the biggest proponent of this, but a lot of people made it very easy to reach out to the FCC through pre-written forms or pre-written scripts. And so basically when John Oliver finished and all of his viewers flooded the FCC with comments, the FCC disregarded all of those comments and said that
Because
they were hackers and a DDoS attack.
Mm-hmm.
So basically anybody who filled out one of these pre-written forms to send in mass, they're now regarding as either hackers or bots and disregarding it. So they're going out of their way to disregard public opinion and public voice.
Well, they also made it incredibly difficult to find it on their site.
Oh yeah,
like you couldn't do a search like Net Neutrality or anything like that. Like you need to literally search out the case number if you knew the fucking case number, and then you had to say something about it. You had to go through all these hoops. So what John Oliver did was he essentially made a URL, bought a URL, and it had a thing that's led directly to it.
Yeah.
Yep, but they want to say because it all trafficked through that one site that it was clearly bots or a DDoS or Russia attack. Basically, they didn't say. All they said was they basically dismissed a lot of these FCC complaints because they came from aggregate sites like John Oliver's site, and therefore they. The ironic thing is in the day and age where we actually have corruption and that kind of thing, corruption and hacking and that kind of thing, that they're disregarding an avenue that the only easy avenue in an intentionally difficult set of circumstances as the thing that we've been crying about. So it's I don't know the irony when you're pointing at things and saying that looks like collusion, that looks like hacking, and it's ignored, and then they turn around and say that your voice is the hacking and your voice is the collusion and your voice is the problem. And that's my biggest beef with this whole thing is, yes, it's shitty that they're doing this, but to have the blatant disregard of, we don't care what our constituents think, this is going to happen and you're going to be happy about it, combined with just the sneering mockery. I mean, I don't know if you've seen any of these videos that what's his name, Ajad, or the main head of the FCC is putting out these terrible fucking videos about like, here's 7 things you can still do on the internet, and they are just cringeworthy fellow kids kinds of things. Like, you could still hug a puppy, and like picture of him hugging a puppy. Like, you could still beat memes to death, and they do the fucking Harlem Shake. You could still be part of your favorite fandom, and like the most phoned in star, like a guy where he's wearing a black hoodie with the hood up and has a Star Wars like lightsaber toy, not even a prop, just a toy. Like, it's just the most low budget phoned in bullshit thing. And not only that, it's completely misleading, because while you'll be able to do all of these things online, you won't be able to do them without paying extra fees, and that's the fucking problem to begin with. So not only do you have them basically insulting your intelligence, disregarding your opinion, and spitting in your mouth, but then you're kind of being mocked. It kind of reminds me of that point in Game of Thrones where they're doing the cheap play about the victory, and it's this just terrible off thing. Like, this reminds me of old Nintendo. Like, they are they are disregarding you, ignoring you, and then taking the time to make fun of us and laugh at us and treat us like idiots. And that is almost worse, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's I don't know how, like, and again, it's like, people actually obviously, spoke out and shit, but like you said, they just didn't give a fuck what we had to say at all, and then go ahead.
We just have to do it the right way. We have to do it their way. So that means don't go to not doing the easy way, going in there just like everybody else and just doing it,
And by the way, all of these votes that were quote unquote considered bots or spammers or hackers, these votes these opinions were never going to be taken into account.
Oh no, they never were.
Yes, these guys. There's a reason why this douchebag got appointed as chair of the FCC. The dude has deep ties to Verizon. He used to work at Verizon. Mm-hmm. So this guy was not going to serve the people. He was going to serve the people who fucking give him the money, man. The people who the corporations that benefit from the actions he does. So this is just clear freaking bribery and thievery, man. This is fucking bullshit. Like I don't understand why like Brett said, those videos were so fucking cringeworthy. Like they're not only bad videos, they're borderline disrespectful. He's laughing at everybody. Don't like I saw a poll, I think it was like 80% of the population does not support the repeal of net neutrality.
Yeah.
It's clear. Like only freaking what's it called? Hermits and people who fucking don't use technology don't know that people like don't like that repeal or are not in favor of that repeal. The dude makes videos essentially laughing at everybody. This is like narcissistic bullshit, man. That's what pisses me off. Like that dude, I'll tell you this much. I'm not gonna get political. That dude's not doing any favors to the Republican Party.
Yeah, that's a fact.
Because people are pissed.
Yeah, and this is a pretty like bipartisan issue. Everybody uses the internet.
Yes,
you know what I'm saying.
There's Republican senators that are against what they're doing in the FCC.
Yeah, man. So this guy was an Agent Pie, right? I was talking to Chris about it because Chris couldn't be here because he wanted to be on tonight, but he's on a work trip and hotel Wi-Fi sucks. He said that this dude makes all Indians look bad, and I kind of and then I said on Twitter, I'm like, yo. Like, this guy is now more hated than Donald Trump. Like, that's amazing. It's crazy to say what you want about Donald Trump, even though he appointed this motherfucker, But yeah, man, it's insane. And, like you said, it's like, the hermit people, so old motherfuckers, they don't know what the fuck's going on. They probably don't care.
And the thing is that the best way to explain it to people, it's
they're
like,
gonna take away your Netflix. They're going
to slow down your Netflix. Wait, what? I have to pay more?
Yeah, it's crazy, man. Go ahead, Carlos.
Let me put that number into perspective real quick. This is just something. Okay, so we've all seen the commercials that say, 4 out of 5 dentists agree that that flossing and brushing help to reduce, plaque buildup and gingivitis, right? That means there's 1 out of 5 dentists who doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. That's 20% of dentists.
Or though that dentist was actually paid off.
Yeah, that's also true.
So, like, think about it. Only 20% of people are against the grain on this one. Now, think about everybody you know, and think about just about anything. Just like I don't know, chocolate cake is good. You'd probably find 20% of people who are like, no, that's fucking bullshit, just because they're combative, argumentative assholes, kind of like me. So 80% sounds like a lot, but you kind of almost got to think of it as pretty much everybody.
Yeah, what's going on, Robert Workman? He's in the chat room right now. He goes, probably the most pathetic thing that Pi is that Pi is generating fake comments supporting his move on net neutrality, including dead people. He's 100% right. That's the shit I was talking about.
Yeah, but then he's accusing people who speak out against him of being bots or Russian plants.
Yeah, and then from what you're telling me, because I haven't seen the videos, right? So basically, the videos are out there saying, oh, yeah, we're not going to take your internet away. They're trying to go for that. And goes like, yeah, we know you're not taking the internet away. You're just going to sparse it out, so we have to pay for it piecemeal.
Yeah, here's the thing. The problem is that they're leaving it open so that those those companies like Verizon and Comcast and Time Warner can fuck with it.
Yeah, and they're going to.
And which they've already tried, even though it's illegal.
Yeah, and the thing is that they've proven this before, where they were specifically, before this law was made, they were specifically throttling certain parts of the internet. So who's, again, all these places, their competition with fucking, somebody, Verizon is in competition with Google, right? Phone shit. Although, okay, so that means that they can throttle Gmail.
People would not be so much against this if we actually had a system that allowed competition. But we live in a society where these cable companies monopolize the areas where you live. Mm-hmm. They essentially, Time Warner or Spectrum, whatever, AT&T, Verizon, they all own territories in this country where they
and they all talk together to figure out what they're going to do next. Going from one to the other really doesn't matter. You're not going to get any better of a deal. They all talk together and be like, okay, this is how much we're going to charge.
Yep.
Yeah, and then they're talking about how like, oh yeah, this is going to open up competition. What about those areas where they only have one ISP, right? Come on, man. You know,
Open up competition, my ass. There have been people who have tried. There have been entire towns who have tried to band together and make their own internet plan, make their own ISP, so that they don't have to be locked into these companies. And these companies lobbied and essentially got these poor people shut down. And that's not even to fucking mention the fact, like, all the shit that you know why we don't all have Google Fiber? Do you know why it didn't actually roll across the country in the way that it was supposed to? Because lobbyists got in their fucking way. The same lobbyists from the telecommunication companies that are already there. They didn't want competition, and they managed to bend the government and shoehorn out fucking Google. Google!
Wow.
The internet overlords! If Google can't build an ISP, then who the fuck can? And you're telling me that the market is open, that anybody can just kind of create their own competition and thrive? Like, no, if Google doesn't have the means to do it, then literally nobody on the planet does.
Yeah, that's scary, man. You know, I don't. Do you guys know when they're gonna, Congress is gonna see this shit? By the way,
also, I got to throw in there, the bullshit that these people who own the infrastructure that won't allow Google Fiber to run at all on their infrastructure, which is why Google's having to go through and lay all these lines to begin with. I just wanted to point out, we're subsidized by the fucking government in the first place to lay the shitty infrastructure that is now decaying in the ground. They were paid to put that shit in there. They didn't pay for it. They were paid to do it. Then they got to keep the rights and turn around and decide who gets to use those fucking lines. And using that muscle, they shoehorned Google out of the whole thing. We're being fucked coming and going. These people have the government paying for upkeep that our infrastructure isn't getting, which is one of the reasons we have some of the worst internet in the goddamn world, which is fucking atrocious if you really stop and think about it. So like we have an infrastructure that's decaying in the ground that was originally subsidized by the government and is now being exploited by these monopolies to exclude any competition in the market. Like, this is a kaleidoscope of fucked up. No matter which way or which facet you look at this through, there's a new brand of why this is fucked up, down to just blatant immorality. Like that shit is just predatory, immoral bullshit. And fuck you guys for taking part in it. I'm done.
Yeah, man, it's fucking bullshit. But again, this isn't over yet. It has to go through Congress. I want to know when that shit's gonna happen, because we need to start really talking to our congressmen. There's a bunch of states right now that are trying to sue the FCC over this shit. So that's good. New York is leading the charge on that. So I'm grateful for that. So I don't know when that vote's gonna happen, but we need to get out there and make our voices heard, because this is fucking bullshit. And I'm gonna say this now: the Supreme Court needs to step in and make a fucking law already, because this is gonna keep happening every time we have a new administration. Every fucking time.
The main thing is that internet needs to be considered a what does they call it? A utility.
Utility, yeah. I'm surprised that hasn't been already. It's like, come on, man.
Yeah, when you have so many systems that are dependent on the internet, you need to. At this point in time, it's like saying something that doesn't need electricity.
Yeah, right. You could burn.
Your phone is classified as a utility, and you need the internet more than you need the phone. Yeah,
and your internet's on your phone too. It's like, come on, man. So Supreme Court needs to step in, make a fucking law already, because this is ridiculous. Every time we get a new administration, we have to go through this bullshit. Man.
We need to contact the Phantom Thieves, man.
Yeah, Brian, get in here, man. I know you're. I want your take, because you're from across the pond and everything, but what happens here could probably affect you guys, man. So what's your take on this, man?
It's ridiculous. I'm hearing most of the stuff the first time, hearing just how fucked up the situation is, and I don't know. I definitely feel like these guys are pushing for something that they don't really understand how badly it will affect the consumer base, but they don't really care. It seems like they're just doing it just to make hand over fist cash, and that's what that's what they all seem to care about, just that cash money coming in, and that's it. And this is going to lead to a disastrous effect. I'm not too sure what the hell can even happen afterwards. Is it possible for the next administration to come in and undo this, or? that even like a possibility? Because again, I'm not too sure. Hopefully that's the case. Then I don't know, man.
That's what I'm saying. Keep saying, hey, Brian, here's a question for you. In the UK, the government is the ISP, no? How does it work over there?
Over here we just have a bunch of companies that have a fair amount of competition, and I think we have a company called, I think it's Ofcom. So basically, they are the ones that regulate all the like communication stuff. So like phone, internet, and all sorts. And basically, they say, "Hey, you can do this, you can't do that," and the companies that supply the internet have to abide by that. So hence, at least we have a governing body that's not overly, well, it's not useless. It does its job and it does the job well. So yeah, we have checks and balances in place to stop like really stupid competition practices. But the net neutrality thing, I don't know how that would affect us, and I don't know if that's even possible for that to even happen to us. But yeah, I'm just out here like, okay, how is this going to affect us now? Because like, as you said, chances are it's going to like just spill over, and some things going to like come over and like haunt us as well. So yeah, this is interesting times now.
It's insane.
I'm tempted to do like that, like what that guy did, and like download like 13 zettabytes of porn.
You know, that's
By
it.
the way, by the way, Brian, in a year or two, the only way to get you in the show is that we pay $9.99 extra to our plan.
Oh
Yeah,
shit! I was like a DLC.
yeah,
You're like,
pretty
I'm like a
much.
loot box.
By the way,
Will
Robert.
we get Brett today
Yeah.
or Brian
Yeah,
today?
who
Let's find
knows?
out.
You know. Yeah. By the way, Robert Workman says this in the comment as a joke, but it could be true. Want to watch the rest of Throwdown? $4.99. Come on, man. You know, we said this last time. We were like, hey, get the ultimate gaming package for $20 a month. You'll get to play Overwatch, Call of Duty, World of Warcraft. It's fucked up,
And
man.
don't forget Star Wars Battlefront.
Yeah.
No.
Loot box free.
No, you guys are thinking about it wrong. You buy loot boxes, which give you about a 40% chance to actually catch the show, with a rare chance to be able to submit a question.
Oh man, it's fucking nuts. It's fucking
But you know,
insane.
the purchasing of the loot boxes to see the show means that when you actually get to see the show, you'll feel a sense of satisfaction and accomplishment that you wouldn't otherwise feel.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, before I forget, over this is not for the UK. This is Portugal, but you know Europe. They have no net neutrality. Like you really have to pay $5 for social shit. You have to pay $5 for video. You have to pay five. Like it's everything's parsed out. We could potentially see that in the future now. Everything's parsed out. You know, because here's the thing. When you use the internet, you don't just use, because here's how they're going to bill it, right? Let me go back. This is how they're going to bill it. Only pay for the things you use. Everybody uses every part of the internet. You don't just use one part. You don't just watch videos all day. You watch videos, you email, you chat, you do all this shit. But now they're going to be, oh, you only have to pay what you actually use. Come on, man.
You're already paying for everything that you use.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm already paying for it. I'm happy with it.
You're paying for Netflix, or you're being targeted ads. You are the consumer, or you are the product on every end of every business deal that you take part of. So you're either paying money to Netflix, or you're getting pop-up ads from Google, and they're selling your information. The shitty part about this is when they start making revenue from that, do you think they're going to stop selling your information, or stop giving you ad pop-ups?
Hell no. By the way, quickly, I want to give a shout out to Silver Sky, who he says he's watched almost every episode of Throwdown, but this is the first time he's watching us live. So I hope glad you're enjoying yourself, man, over all this bullshit. But you're right, Brett. That's what's gonna happen once they start making real money off this shit. They're not going back. I'm telling you, man. This is gonna get fucked up. Yeah, watch Throwdown for $4.99 a month. You know, loot boxes, baby.
The only silver lining on all this is that the public is kind of almost in a consensus of what needs to be done.
Yo, the public is woke.
The public is woke, man.
You're right about that 80%. So I think something's going to happen. If these motherfuckers want to get elected again, they better listen to us. You know, they work for us at the end. You know what I'm saying? These FCC assholes, they really don't work for us, which is fucked up. But government does. Congress does. So talk to these motherfuckers, you know? And
the only reason why congressmen like get away with bribes and straight up corruption is because the public does not understand what they do for the most part. But when it comes to the internet, everyone is relying on the internet to do so many things.
Think about it like this. This proved a point. Today, you know how when things happen on Twitter, it's always a hashtag, right? The hashtag was Net Neutrality. Motherfuckers couldn't even spell it right. The hashtag was trending. The number one trending thing, Net Neutrality. I'm like, yeah, that's why this is happening, because you motherfuckers are dumb. You know? Jesus, man.
It's crazy, man.
All right. Anybody else want to jump in on this before we move on?
No, we're good.
Yeah. All right, man. Let's talk about some gaming shit, man. Are you down with it, man? You down with NPD? Yeah, you know me. Who down with
I was gonna be
NPD?
like, you down with the sickness?
Yeah, no. Who down with NPD? Every last homemade. All right, man. Our favorite time of the year, man. November NPDs have dropped. And okay, before we even start with the main hardware, because there's a little bit of a bet going on between two of our members here, Carlos and Brett, right? So Brett, you said that Skyrim was going to be top 10, top 20, right?
I said it was going to crack the top 10 in either November or December.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm letting you know right now, November, it didn't crack the top 20.
Really?
Yeah. So I'm just me
I might be
personally
losing this bet.
Yeah, dude. If it didn't chart this month, it ain't fucking charting next month.
No, and they were pimping the shit out of it. I saw a bunch of commercials for it.
So yeah,
I'm not gonna celebrate too early, but it's looking pretty good.
Yeah. I already told Carlos, I'm like, yo, just write it out for one more month. But as far as I'm concerned, this shit is over. You know?
Honestly, I'd be happy to lose that bet.
Yeah.
I'll be happy to.
Yeah, that bet was born out of my idea that people will just keep fucking buying Skyrim, whatever, until the end of goddamn time. So, like, yeah, if it doesn't sell that well on the Switch, that hopefully Bethesda would take note that maybe it's time to make a new Elder Scrolls.
Yeah. Right.
Yes.
Maybe it's time for us to make a new Skyrim. Oh, the Elder Scrolls.
How long has it been since we made one? A decade? Oh, shit.
My kid, I already turned into an old man in that time.
All right. For whatever reason, the link I had kind of changed on me. It didn't have the top 20. So just give me, but yeah, PS4. Top selling console, man. I was still on the fence. I'm like, it's either going to be Switch or maybe Xbox One X. When that shit dropped to $199 during Black Friday, I'm like, that's it. This motherfucker is going to win now, and it sure as fuck did. You know.
Hey guys, I gotta bounce to Star Wars. Star Wars.
All right, man. Have fun, bro.
Oh, shit.
I'll catch y'all on Sunday.
No spoilers, Brett.
Yeah. Hey, Brett.
Oh, yeah, no.
Okay. Hey, Brett. Real quick, the 3DS sold more this year than it did last year. Just throwing that out there.
God damn it. Thing looks like hot garbage. Why are you people still buying it?
It's Brett. You know what it is? It's cheap.
It's cheap, man.
It's cheap. That's it. That's all it takes, Brett.
Yeah. All right. I release you. Go. We'll talk more about this on Sunday, man. Have fun.
Have fun,
May
Brett.
the force be with you.
Grr.
Yes.
All right. So yeah, PS4. They didn't give the exact ranking though. I know PS4 is number 1, but I don't know which one's number 2. Does it say it here?
From what we've been hearing, the Xbox did really good in November. But this was a week or two ago. Like that, it was actually pretty close to PlayStation numbers. So I don't know. It's going to be close, I think. But something I wanted to bring up, and I like that you mentioned about how they reduced the price to $200 during Black Friday sales, right?
Yeah.
Well, remember last year we had a bet that we didn't bet anything, but we had a bet that what would sell more, the PlayStation 4 or the Xbox One.
Yeah.
And I said Xbox One, and you said PlayStation 4.
Yeah.
And you said it's obvious PlayStation's going to win because of new hardware.
Yeah. And that was my original thinking with the Xbox at the beginning. I'm like, Xbox is going to win because of that. Anyway,
Yeah.
go on,
So it's like, and then I remember I was like, no, PlayStation is kind of like Xbox was on a roll at that time. Remember, they won like 2 NPDs in a row, and PlayStation released the PSVR like a month before that. They did the PS Slim relaunch, and they're releasing the PS4 Pro. And then I'm like, man, I think Xbox is gonna like get this, but I was obviously wrong. But this year, it's kind of the same thing. Like Microsoft released a new console, and like it seemed like they were primed to win. Obviously, with all the kind of premium stuff added to that baggage, they obviously weren't going to win. But yeah, man, last year the PlayStation 4, I think PlayStation 4 was 200 as well last Black Friday.
Last Black Friday for a day it dropped to 350. But here's the thing though. We're talking about PlayStation 4 one overall last year, right? The one that sold the most was the $200 PlayStation, you know?
Oh yeah. So
remember,
yeah,
they dropped that price. They dropped that price for Black Friday. I get Black Friday $200. You know?
Yep. So those things have been making a killing for Sony, man.
Yeah, it's crazy. Oh, I also heard PSVR. It's already sold 2 million. This shit is not doing bad, man. You know, I'm surprised. You know. So yeah, so those are the hardware numbers. Let's talk about software because this. Oh, go ahead, because I'm still blown away by this, man.
I don't know, Silver Sky. I hope you're right about this. So he's saying these numbers. So we need to check this. But
those are the leaked numbers from last week that they put up on. I was gonna call it. What are we gonna call the new NeoGAF? I know it's called Reset Era, but I want to call him a mocking name. Anyway, whatever. The new NeoGAF, new GAF.
Yeah, so according to these were leaks from a week ago, so take them with a grain of salt. PS4 1.6 million, Xbox 1.3 million, which is surprising. Like that's really good.
Yeah,
and it's like up there with Sony, and Switch 800,000.
I'm surprised by Switch. I thought Switch was going to sell a lot more.
Yeah,
I honestly thought. Yeah, I thought Switch was going to murder both of them. You know,
800,000 is still good, but Switch is the hot commodity right now.
Let me ask you this though: do you think it's because of low stock that it only sold 800,000?
It's possible.
Because yo, you have a new Mario game. This shit should have been selling way more. You know,
Mario, and we'll talk about this later. Mario did really well in the NPDs.
Yeah, Robert says it sold 5 billion total so far. 5 billion. That's half the fucking console. That's insane. You know,
that's fucking ridiculous.
Yo, listen, say what you want about Switch owners. They buy games, bro. They buy their games.
Yep.
Yeah, so yeah, okay, so those are the numbers. We don't know if they're official, but I also heard from the 1.3 Xbox, about 500,000 of that was the X. You know, so take that how you will.
Which is crazy.
It's a lot, you know. Probably would have sold
a lot.
That is a lot. You can't take that away. That is a lot. That's 500,000 consoles in like on Black Friday. Wow. You know. That's crazy. Mm-hmm. All right, I want to talk about software because I'm blown away, man. Like I have to okay. I'm not surprised by number one, even though I'm like, what's wrong with you guys? Call of Duty World War II. Now, check this out. I'm moving ahead a little bit. Not only is Call of Duty World War II the best-selling game of this month, it came out last month, right? It's already the best-selling game of 2017.
God damn it, Adam.
Adam, man, fucking it up. You know? Jesus, like, oh, man.
Yo,
it's the duty, son.
By the way, I'm part to blame too because I bought the game too.
Yo, what up, Sergio? I don't know if you want me to give away your internet handle because you're always getting banned on Twitter. You crazy motherfucker. What's going on, man?
It's not Mr. Suck It anymore?
No, it's not. I don't know what the fuck he is now. He's Mr. Bandit. I don't know. We all knew who he was, though. You know who he is. Okay, so Call of Duty World War II, number one. It's also the best-selling game of the year. And number two, a game I didn't think was going to even crack the top 10, Star Wars Battlefront 2, despite all that drama, number two. Mm-hmm. And that proves our point. Casuals do not pay attention to any of this shit.
No, they don't.
You know, we've been telling you guys that. We've been telling you guys. We've been telling this shit for months now. It's like casuals do not pay attention to this shit. They buy the games and that's it. They see a Star Wars game, they just picked it up. That's it. They probably didn't know about any of the controversy. You know?
No, I mean that's it. I mean, like, oh, I don't know,
yeah. But here's my question though, and Manny, you were one of these people too. Like you saw like empty, like basically it would be empty video game racks over at like Walmart or whatever, and a stack of Star Wars games. You know.
Mm-hmm. Here's the thing. I mean, it says at least one. Like, do we know exactly that are the ones that are actually sold, or are they the ones that are sold to the company, to a place like, you know, Best Buy or any of those places?
I think you might be onto something here. That's probably how many were actually sold to Stores. Yeah, I didn't think about that.
You remember these guys have to buy them too.
Yes.
They buy them at a premium, and then they sell you them for additional for higher than it actually is.
See, now it's actually all making more sense. Now it's actually making more sense because stores obviously bought a shit ton of them. You know.
Yeah, theoretically, if they're out in the wild, they're still been sold.
Yeah,
they've been sold to a store.
Yeah. I didn't think about that. You're right. You're 100% right about that. That's that explains a lot. Because again, how many pictures haven't you seen from individuals, different people, of like just stacks and stacks of these things? Yes, nobody bought those, but the stores bought them. You know, crazy. Anyway, let's move on down the line here. Assassin's Creed Origins, which makes sense. You know, very good game. NBA 2K. Madden,
as expected.
You know, Mario Odyssey. I actually expected that to be a little bit higher, but I guess the NBA games would actually probably sell more.
Well, just to mention with Mario Odyssey, that doesn't include digital.
Yeah, that's all physical right there.
See, the thing is that I think a lot of these NPDs are, you know, where you hear the usual names over and over again, is because these stores are kind of constantly reordering these things. I don't know if they're actually sold, you know, like actual units sold to us, you know, from the store, or is it the units? How many units these stores have bought?
That's a good question. Somebody needs to investigate that shit. You know. All right, let's move on. That was number 6. Number 7, Adam's favorite, FIFA. Number 8, still hanging in there, Need for Speed Payback. People look again. The game got shitty reviews. People don't care. It's a Need for Speed game. They want it. You know.
You know, it's like the thing is, it's like once it's in the zeitgeist of things, it will be there unless they do something so fucking horrible.
Again,
you know?
Like we said, casuals aren't paying attention to this shit.
No, they're not looking at any of this shit. They see Need for Speed, they're like, "Oh man, I love Need for Speed." And buy the damn game.
You know,
There's not much thought that goes into this.
There isn't at all. Number 9 is Destiny 2, and they don't count the BattleNet sales. And then number 10, and I guess 11 too, the Pokemon games on 3DS. You know, hey, and our favorite, Grand Theft Auto is number 13, so it's still in there. You know,
it's still there, man.
It happened. Fell out the top 10.
Yeah, it actually hasn't been in the top 10
for a lifetime.
Yeah, no, it's
Brian.
Yeah, go ahead.
It'll be back.
Yeah, you know it.
If it comes back like next year, then for fuck's sake, people, just stop. Like, who else needs to buy it? Like, who else needs to buy it? I swear that there's like more copies of GTA 5 than like grains of sand on the earth, I swear.
Yeah, hey, thank you. Yeah, right. It's crazy. Thank you, Silver Sky. He goes, your overlay is awesome.
Thanks, man.
Thank you.
Yeah. By the way, here's my question. How is the Sims on this bitch? Sims 4? Isn't that game old? Like, what the fuck?
Sims 4?
No, I thought they made a new one.
Yeah, the studio closed down. No, yeah, that was like the old new one. The studio that made that game closed down. But I don't even know how that's even possible. I'm like, the fuck? Because as far as I know, it didn't get released on new platforms unless somehow
there is
someone else picked it up.
There is a new Sims game that just came out for consoles.
Yeah, it's crazy. Wolfenstein's in there, South Park, WWE, and Just Dance. People are still buying this game.
Just Dance.
I made a prediction for the top 10. I didn't do too bad. 7 out of 10. I got right.
Oh, nice.
One of them was off by 1. I put both Ultra Sun and Moon, the Pokemon games. One was 11, but I was like, this looks pretty predictable.
Did you have Legend of Zelda in yours?
No.
Okay.
I had a worse pick. I put GT Sport. Phantom Vash called me out on that, man.
Yeah, That's right. That's right, man. Yeah. So yeah, NPDs November, very, very interesting, man. Here's the thing about Xbox, right? If it was new hardware that was a little bit cheaper, it would have sold really, really well. But still $500. $500 is a little bit much, you know.
Yeah. If they managed to drop that price down, you know, and then drop the original Xbox One, you know, like the slim down, I think it would have been a lot better.
Think about it like this, right? PS4 Pro, even though it was $400 and was more expensive, that's still the same price you paid originally. So you're like, okay, you know, whatever, sure.
It still ends up being the cheaper console.
Exactly. All right, I want to move on to the next thing, which is still about Xbox. We got to talk about the whole PUBG situation, man.
Oh man.
This is another one of these things where the public doesn't understand things. You could tell them everything. You could lead them down the right place, and they'll still get fucking lost because Microsoft specifically said this shit is a game preview. It ain't done yet. But to be fair, they did market it like it was AAA. But you know what happened, right?
It's a game preview that you fucking pay for.
That's the thing. People went to the stores, bought the game, and they expected a finished game. And of course, you know what happened. The game ain't finished. It's broken and all this other shit. People got fucking livid, obviously. But again, it's twofold because Microsoft, they marketed it as a AAA game, right? Kind of like Sony did with No Man's Sky. And then people are just, let's just be honest, people are ignorant. They're not paying attention to shit. I had people on my timeline tell me like this, look, it clearly says it right there in the disclaimer. No one's reading these disclaimers, bro. No one's reading that shit. No one is going to this. No one
does that fucking disclaimer say it on the goddamn cover of the game?
Of course not.
Because that's what people are looking at.
Yeah. No one buys a game, then goes to the website to find out more. No one does that shit. Even hardcore gamers don't do that shit.
No.
Because these dudes are trying to say, oh no, but it was clearly there if you look at the website. Bro, what the fuck, man? So yeah, I'm not surprised by any of this. And then here's the thing. My theory is Microsoft rushed the shit out, or told whoever the fuck was making this game to rush it out there because they needed something for the holidays, right? They knew this shit was broken. They put it out there anyway. Let's just be real here,
Here's the other fun thing about PUB. Apparently, they left in keyboard controls.
Yeah, they did.
And you can actually see how the damn game is running. So the game for Xbox S or the normal Xbox is running at low, and then main Xbox is running at medium.
Yeah, that's right.
Talking about a 4K console right there, the most powerful console out there, and it can't run the game in at least high. Just saying.
Yeah, remember how a couple of weeks ago they had the whole parity thing, right? It has to be 30 frames across all consoles. I did a Tony's take on this already, talked about this shit, but it's fucking dumb, Carlos, get in here, man. What do you think about this whole PUBG situation?
We've mentioned it since the inception of Project Scorpio, man. We told you so. We've been saying this shit. We've been praising this shit since the beginning, man. Like this whole no compromises thing, we call that shit out. The whole parody thing, we call that shit out. Oh,
it's all marketing bullshit.
Mm-hmm. And the PUBG thing, man, I feel bad for Xbox because it has to put all their chips into this basket. Fucking PUBG, like, come on, man. Why can't Microsoft get their freaking own Naughty Dog studio, man, and have something they could rely on and put all their freaking chickens in that basket or whatever. I don't know what the phrase is. I don't care. But yeah, man, it's clearly like a No Man's Sky situation where they just are not being upfront with this, like, or at least explicit about all the stuff that's going on with this game. This clearly isn't supposed to been a major release yet. This game is not finished.
Yeah, this was not ready for prime time.
Hey, at least No Man's Sky was considered a finished game.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah.
It's crazy, man. Brian, get in here, man. What do you think about all this shit?
Exactly.
What the fuck? No, this is stupid. Honestly, I've heard of like botched games at launch and shit like that, but this is just like they didn't even finish the game, or they didn't even finish what the fuck the thing was. They literally just like threw it out there, like, hey, get it out there, get it done, and whatever, and that's it. Seriously, it is depressing to see from a point of view from a person who likes his games complete when they launch. It's embarrassing to see. At the same time, it's kind of funny to see like how bad these games are actually just running on these consoles. It's kind of like, well, this kind of proves the point that PC guys have been saying for a long time. It's like, yeah, these games on consoles, they tend to run like ass, and this is a prime example.
But the thing is that these people, the people think that all of a sudden, just because it has all this stuff in it, that all of a sudden it's going to somehow have parity between a PC. No, man, it's not.
Oh, I don't know. I genuinely think that some people just like to believe whatever the hell they want to believe, and that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is just an example of a game that should not be out yet because it's just not done. And the fact that they're charging them for this is kind of like, really? Like, come on.
Hey,
And
you just bought a demo that didn't work so well.
You bought
I
an
seen like
alpha, man.
yeah, I seen like the Digital Foundry like test of it, and it's just like, wow, this is not great. Like this is like really bad performance. Like it's not just like bad, it's like worse than bad. It's just like some places it's like mid-teens. It's like no game should ever dip this low unless it's like a rare moment. But no,
It's
I don't
also,
know.
I mean, also, I think in that in general, that game is probably a poorly optimized sort of game too.
Oh yeah, it is, but still, it's kind of like, did no one like test this, or did no one just not give a damn? I mean, like
They
the
just
worst
pop it out
part is
there.
like the lobby part, and it's like that's the first thing you jump into. So clearly, they had to have known that it runs really badly when you first jump into like the whole game itself.
Yeah, so that's one aspect. People were like they were upset about it. And then I heard some others going like, "Yo, man, they need a day one patch." I'm like, no amount of patches is gonna fix that shit. The game ain't done yet, bro. The game ain't fucking done. And then okay, so that's one aspect. The people who were pissed off that they bought the game. Then the other aspect, the one I find the funniest, dude's damage controlling, right? The same guys that said that this is a nominee for Game of the Year are saying you can't judge it as a full game because it isn't finished yet. You can't have
The
your
Game
cake
Awards did.
Come on, man. It's fucking bullshit. So they're defending like, oh, you can't judge it as a full game. No. If a regular person goes into a store and buys a game, a physical game, they're gonna treat it as a actual finished game. You can't get away from that shit. They're not gonna go, oh yeah, I'm gonna understand this is unfinished. Come on, get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out
The
of
thing
here.
is that here's the thing when the thing about doing stuff like that, like printing them to discs, essentially printing a demo onto a disc and having people buy it, right? Automatically people expect it to be, no matter what the friggin' rhetoric says, they expect it to be some sort of completed experience, some sort of completed game.
Dude, you have people bitching about betas. Like, guys, it's a beta. Why you bitching right now?
Because they don't understand the concept of it. They're like, "Oh, it's working. That must mean it's finished."
Yeah. See,
That's it.
Yeah. See, by the way, shout out to Daniel Lawson. He's one of these guys. He goes, "Are we spending time talking about a preview program game?" No, we're talking about a game that was sold to people at retail. So they're gonna consider it a finished game.
You can go to a store and buy a PUBG as if it was any other Xbox game.
Yeah. So yeah, if you go to a store and you buy a game, like if you buy PUBG, it's like any other game. You're allowed to treat like a game. By the way, Fergus Mills, what's up, man?
How much?
He says that he canceled his PUBG order and is gonna get in 2019. Wait till 2020 when it's actually done. Anyway, what are you gonna say?
By the way, how much is pub?
30.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's still too much.
I have a theory about that.
Jimmy's all
I have a theory. By the way. I think when it's done, right, a year or two, right, they're gonna release PUBG Complete Edition for $60. Watch that shit happen.
Oh yeah, they are. They're gonna do that right there.
And that'll be after PUBG Game of the Year edition.
Yeah, exactly. Silver Sky says that Fortnite was free and runs better than PUB. Think about that. Ain't that about a bitch? And it looks better too. PUBG looks like fucking shit, dog ass shit actually.
Yep.
This is PUBG, not Final Fantasy. You're missing the point. See, you're making excuses right now, Daniel. Making excuses. It's like if you're gonna release a physical game and treat it as a AAA game, then that's it. Then people are allowed to treat it as a big game, even though it's unfinished. We all understand that, but the casual consumer does not understand that shit.
No, they don't understand the idea. I mean, the first time I remember when they started letting people, non-developer people or media into friggin' E3, and they had a lot of the games, and they're all betas and stuff on the show floor. The thing is that people are like, "Oh man, this game sucks. It's horrible." It's like it's not fucking done.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like we all understand that, but when you sell that shit, it's a different story. It's different story.
I don't know. It's like buying, I don't know, a half-finished cup.
Yeah. Hey, Daniel. Daniel,
I mean?
you know what? You could say fuck the casual consumers, bro. They're the ones that buy most of the games, bro.
Yes, yo, that's who makes money, man. We make only a portion of that, but the wider audience is what makes these things. It's exactly why Call of Duty is at the top right now. It's why FIFA and all those games, NBA games, and all of that stuff is all at the top. It's not because of us per se. It's really the general consumers and what they believe to be the talk of the town type of game.
Yes, exactly.
And that's what it is.
The zeitgeist
People know
game.
what Assassin's Creed exactly. People know what Assassin's Creed is. If it's already been proven as a good game from the past. So what happens? They buy the next one.
Yeah.
By the way,
yeah, go ahead.
People, a lot of little teamies all over America are gonna accept these changes, like these issues with the game, because like Manny said, this game is part of the zeitgeist. Like
PUBG, yes, right, yeah.
It's streamers are streaming this game everywhere on YouTube. Mm-hmm. So people are hyped up about this game. This game is really popular. So a lot of the deficiencies that are coming with this game are probably going to get ignored, to be honest with you.
Yeah. By the way, I got to address this. Silver Sky says that he goes, "I'm going to wait for Last of Us 2 to have a battle royale mode." Then he goes, "Tony, don't say negative shit about The Last of Us. I love Last of Us. I just think the multiplayer shit." Yeah. But you see how that goes, right? How it evolved. I said I don't like the multiplayer. Translates to I don't like The Last of Us. I love The Last of Us. I just think the multiplayer shit. But yeah, PUBG. I saw this shit coming a fucking mile away. We all did on this show. We told you guys, but nobody listens to Throwdown.
Nobody listens to Throwdown.
All right, man.
You know what? People. Some of the people out there go into a hissy fit because we're talking about what they were interested in. Dude, you gotta look past the fucking green goggles. I know you love Xbox. I know you love PS4, but at the same time, you have to look over that sort of stuff, all the fan shit, and look at the real shit that's going on.
Think about it again, going back to what we talked about before. If we were the guys that were in charge, Battlefront 2 would not be in the top 20 at all, right? The people that buy games, I don't know what the percentage is, but I'm going to say probably like 85, 90% of the people who buy games are casuals who don't give a fuck. Yeah,
they see it on this. This is how much thought goes into these sorts of things. They go, "Oh, hey, I recognize this name. And some of my friends seem to be playing it. I'll play that too." That's how much thought goes into that.
It's a consumer conveyor belt.
Yes,
that's essentially what it is.
Why do you think GTA 5 keeps selling, man? When a kid turns 13, he wants that fucking game. What's going on? Oh, we got Daniel Quintana. I don't know that name. Hello. All right. Behave, motherfucker. All right, man. Let's move on to the next topic here. And I wish Chris was here for this shit. So, by the way, I'm going to leave a little nugget here for you fans who are watching us. Please leave us a question about this for Sunday's show, man, because Chris wants to talk about this. So, the Nintendo Switch has sold, probably shipped. Let's just be real here. Sold 10 million units, right? But the thing I want to talk about this, like that blows me away. 3DS this year sold more than it did last year. So if you were hoping that 3DS is going to be phased out, you were thinking that the Switch is going to be the main portable. Nope, that shit ain't happening. That 3DS is going to stick around, man.
And same thing with what we were saying to Brett, man. He's the one that says it the most, where it's like, oh, it's the replacement of the the Switch is a replacement of 3DS. At this point in time, no, it is not.
Even according to Nintendo, you know what it's replacing? You know what its successors do?
It's replacing the other
Wii U,
one.
the Wii U.
The Wii U. That's what it's doing.
There is no replacement.
But the thing is that they're never gonna. The only time that you're ever gonna see this stuff start to phase out is when the 3DS stops making money.
Yeah, and right now it's making too much money.
Yeah.
It's
making too much money. Again, what have we been saying? Cheapest guy out there makes the most money, because people look at it and be like, well, I can't afford the big thing. All right, well, this has 1,000 games that I like. Okay, let's buy that.
Yeah, and then what did they drop this year? Pokemon games. That's it.
They dropped the Pokemon game, a recognizable title.
Again, that's how casuals work, man. You guys need to understand this, man. You got to, again, we live in our own little bubble here, right? But if you got to look outside of that, It's a different market, man. We keep telling you guys this shit. Why do you think mobile's so big? You know, because motherfuckers don't care. They're like, oh, I got games on this shit.
It's like, hey, it's a game. I'm waiting at the dentist for the dentist to pick me next. All right, what do we got here? All right, I'll play that.
Yeah, what up, OBJ? What's going on, brother? You know, OBJ, we still got to get you on Throwdown one day, man. So yeah, 3DS is still selling like hotcakes. Nintendo, but let's go back to Nintendo though. Switch, 10 million. Remember, Wii U sold 13 million in its lifetime. In 9 months, this shit's already sold 10 million. I think this shit's gonna outdo the Wii U before the year's over, man. You know, before the fiscal year's over. I think if it keeps going at this pace, it's gonna happen. You know.
Well, I mean, I panned Nintendo for kind of slowly but surely releasing their games, but you know what? It seems to be working for them. They sparse out those big titles like like Zelda, and then you release a Mario Kart, and then you release a Splatoon, and then a Mario Galaxy. I mean Mario, Odyssey.
But here's the thing, though, and in between, this is the genius of it. You release a bunch of smaller third-party games or even bigger third-party games. You know, yep. I was talking to, shout out to my man Matthew Humphreys, who used to be my editor over at Geek.com. I was talking to him today, and he's going to buy a Switch. I'm like, yeah, this is the perfect time to buy this shit. There's a ton of games for it now. You know, he's going to be straight. So, yeah, I wish Chris was here for this shit. But, yeah, Switch, I guess we could say it's not a failure.
Yo, man, I got to give Nintendo so much credit. Yeah. The way they launched the system, no, you couldn't do better than what they did. This is the best case scenario for Nintendo, essentially.
Shit, you ain't even lying, man.
This is how they did it, man. Launch game, Legend of Zelda, a port from the Wii U. They held back the copy of the Wii U so they'd release it with a Switch when it came out. Mm-hmm. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, a port from the Wii U. What is it? Splatoon 2. I don't know if this is
it's not a port, but let's just be honest. It's
port,
yeah.
You know?
There's nothing that separates Splatoon from Splatoon 1 that much. Like it's essentially just a sequel. Like it could have been launched on the Wii U too. Mario plus Rabbids, like, and Mario Odyssey. And they spread those out like in the perfect like time where people just like
it's at that cusp where it's like, I don't know if there's anything. Oh,
there's another game.
No, but here's the thing though, and I said this, right? And it's funny because Microsoft wasn't able to do this. Nintendo released a AAA game every single month without failure. You know? Yep. And then on top of that, all those smaller games, man. Because I've seen it. It blows my mind. I saw people showing off their Nintendo Switch collections. They're buying physical copies of fucking indie games they could buy on PC for cheaper. You know, it's nuts, man.
The indie games that are cheaper on the actual PC.
Yeah,
and probably on PlayStation and Xbox.
Oh yeah, for sure. Exactly.
Buy it for more.
Yeah, I mean, and you know why those games cost more? Because of the cartridges. You know. Mm-hmm. By the way, quick shout out to Stephen O'Brien and Chris Cobra. What's going on? Anyway, go ahead, Carlos.
Yeah, man, and think about it like this too. Games, like Nintendo gets such good news when they release games that no one expected them to release. So when they announce Skyrim, everyone goes crazy. When they announce Doom, everyone goes crazy. So this is like kind of like the genius of it all. Like people, like I guess they lowered their expectations so much that when they get just a freaking like the tip of the carrot, I don't know I don't know if that's a good analogy, but like people go nuts, man. Like it's I don't know, it's a hype machine. Everyone is flocking towards it. Everyone is hyped about it, and I don't know, man. Also, a lot of people fell in love. So we had like debates on previous throwdowns about, do people really want to play it portable mode? We'll assume that that's a yes, but more than that, people love the concept, quote unquote. People love the concept of playing their games on the go. I think that's one of the big sellers too. It's like it's not necessarily that it's something that people normally do, which it could possibly be. I don't even know the statistics, but I think the concept more than anything is what helps sell it too.
I also think that the fact of it also being an obvious lower graphical kind of console, and it being somewhat handheld-ish, people are a little bit more forgiving for graphical hiccups. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like I saw some sort of review on like Ukulele, and they're like, "Wow, this game looks amazing," and they, it's like for a Switch game. I'm like, you see, there you go.
Right.
When you start saying stuff like that.
Yeah, and we saw that. Remember that game? I forgot which one it was that got like a way higher review score on IGN than its PlayStation counterpart.
Oh, Doom! It was Doom.
It was Doom, right?
Yeah, Doom got a higher score on Switch than it did on PS4, which makes no fucking sense. So I think you might be onto something. How the portable aspect is really turning people around. Now, obviously, you and I don't understand this because we don't play that shit in portable mode.
Yep.
So that's why that whole thing is alien to us, but to other people, they like that shit.
Which is fucking crazy because we love the 3DS and we love the Vita.
Yeah, fuck, man, it's crazy. By the way, Kristen isn't here in the chat room. I had to fucking time it motherfucker out. Hope he was lying about that. She was spoiling shit for Star Wars already. Come on, son. What the fuck is wrong with you guys, man? Carlos, be on the lookout, man. You seen that shit? Boot those motherfuckers, man. Yep. All right. I think that's it for the Switch shit. 3DS still going strong. Now we're gonna change gears, man. We're going back to original Throwdown shit. We're gonna talk about some pop culture shit because this is too fucking big, man. The thing we've been waiting for almost 2 decades has finally happened, or will potentially happen.
I think it happened.
It happened, but the FTC, the Federal Trade Commission, needs to completely sign off on it. Which they probably will. Marvel Cinematic Universe is going to be whole. People keep saying again, it was never whole. It's going to be whole. You know what I'm saying? So, basically, Disney bought the entertainment arm of Fox, movies, television, all that shit. Fox still exists as an entity. They're going to be doing news and sports and all that shit, right? But all the entertainment shit, I'm talking about everything. I'm not just talking about Fantastic Four and X-Men. They own The Simpsons. They own X-Files. They own Predator. They own all that shit now.
Yeah, anything 20th Century Fox that they own. Which is a plus for them since they're trying to launch that new streaming service.
Yeah, that's right. We're going to talk about the streaming service in a bit, but let's talk about the exciting part about this, right? How we're Marvel, and they said it too. Disney Flash said, "Yeah, it's like great. We're going to introduce the X-Men and Fantastic Four into our cinematic universe." They flat out said that shit. And then the best part, because people were worried, like, "Oh, what the fuck is going to happen with Deadpool?" They said, "Yeah, don't worry. You're still going to get your R-rated Deadpool movies." Now, put a little asterisk on that R because it might be a little softer, but I don't think they want to fuck things up. That last movie made so much money. Disney wants to make that kind of money too. And the movie wouldn't exist without Ryan Reynolds. If they try to change it, Ryan Reynolds is fucking gone. So they want to keep him around too.
And I would like to see. I predicted it earlier today. I'm like, that would be pretty interesting if fucking Hugh Jackman just showed up in the fucking Avengers film.
Yeah, even though they're probably going to get a new Wolverine. By the way, Robert Workman says, he goes, let's talk about the fact that that Marvel vs. Capcom games will be complete again. I have a theory about that. I want to get it out right now because people are saying, oh, they're going to patch X-Men to Infinite. No. They're not going to do that. They're going to make Marvel vs. Capcom 4 the great return of the franchise. Remember Wolverine, Magneto. Mm-hmm. They're going to trust me. You know how they're bringing back DMC 5? Same shit here. Marvel vs. Capcom 4. Watch that shit.
That's such a fucking Capcom thing to do.
It is. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, they'll bring out Marvel vs. Capcom 4 and be like, hey, the X-Men are back.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, we could speculate about how they're going to do this, like integrating and stuff. But, yeah, they're not going to fuck up Deadpool. They even said that, we're not against having R-rated Marvel movies. And I think... Robert, your site talked about this, comicbook.com, where, maybe potentially there might, Disney says this is speculation. Maybe there'll be a Marvel Knights section because that's money to be made right there from more mature movies,
Yeah. Like to be honest, like what if what if the 20th Century Fox becomes that section? Like, in other words, they keep it around, but they put the ones that are not the, they're off the beaten path, the stuff on there. Kind of like how they did with Touchtone, where they would release like, R-rated films and all kinds of other stuff, and that was all Disney too.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, Disney has released R-rated films. They just haven't put their stamp on it. Even if you think about it, the Marvel cinematic movies, they don't have Disney logos anywhere on there. If you're
they're all Marvel.
Yeah. If you were to go, if you didn't pay attention to the news or any of that stuff, you go to watch a Marvel movie, you would never know Disney made it unless you stay to like the ending credits.
Yeah, they say distributed by Buena Vista, whatever.
Yeah, and the other thing people need to realize is like every company that Disney has bought, including Marvel, they allow them to remain their own entity, right? So Fox is still going to be doing its thing, right? But they already said, hey, we're going to get X-Men and Marvel and Fantastic Four back into the universe, which is fantastic. That's the shit we want, And also for me, what excites me also, we're going to get it's going to happen. The Fantastic Four are going to be back in the fucking comics. X-Men are probably going to be pushed in the forefront again like they used to. Because, right now, the Avengers is a big team. But, Manny, you remember back in the day, Avengers was always the second biggest team at Marvel.
Oh, yeah. In the 90s, it was never about the Avengers, man.
Always about the fucking
You didn't have fucking Jim Lee on no Avengers.
Exactly. Anyway, Carlos, what are we going to say, man?
It's just going to be funny when we see three Human Torches in the same cinematic universe.
Now they can meet themselves, literally. Chris Evans can meet Chris Evans from Chris Evans Captain America. Can meet Chris Evans Human Torch.
Yeah, you know what's going to happen. They're probably because remember all these actors are going to go away eventually. The contracts are right. I think it's a perfect time. You reset the universe and you start from scratch with all new actors, but this time with the X-Men and Fantastic Four already in there. Even though they could actually work the Fantastic Four into the current Marvel universe as it stands right now, they could easily work them in there. Like, hey, we created this team, the Shield team. We're going to send them off into space to see what the fuck's going on. Bam, they got powers.
That would be pretty good.
You could easily do that. Oh, what Galactus, Silver Surfer's coming? Get him.
The hard one would be the X-Men.
That would be tough.
Taking the the former Fox X-Men and working them in because there's all this government shit and the mutant whatever laws and all that stuff that existed in that one. Which don't exist in
it'll be tough, man. But now, again, because we're just speculating now, I'm excited about getting an actual Old Man Logan movie, right? Everybody's saying how like Logan was like such a great movie, which it was a great movie. But as I'm watching, I'm like, man, I wish the fucking Hulk was in this shit. I wish the Red Skull was, like I wanted. It felt like it was missing all this shit. So it'll be nice. Maybe like think about this, maybe 10 years from now, right? After all the new actors have gotten a little older, it's like, all right, let's do this shit. That'll be cool. But I'm pretty excited about this, man. Brian, get in here, man. What are your thoughts?
Oh, it's about to be on. Honestly, this is amazing. It is a bit terrifying how like Disney have just come along and like
that's what I was gonna say.
Buy what we want, so we'll just buy the company. It's like, can they do that? Like, can they literally just buy whatever the fuck they want? That's amazing power right there.
You realize they probably just took the fucking money they made from the goddamn summer and just said boom and walked away. You realize you want to hear something really crazy? That Beauty and the Beast movie remake that they did made so much fucking money.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Including the Marvel shit, as well as Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy and
Thor was a hit.
Yeah, and Thor.
Thor was a hit too. Every movie they made was a hit.
You could literally take all that money that they made from this year and just went, Fox, yo.
Oh, by the way, and this wasn't like a hostile takeover. Here's the thing. Fox felt that the entertainment arm was dead weight to them because they're making way more fucking money off the news and sports shit. So they were more than happy to sell this shit,
The thing about it is, and if you think about it, this is, it takes, millions and billions of dollars to make some of these films. To do fucking news, that ain't shit.
That ain't nothing.
To do Fox News, that's not a lot of money at all. They make a lot of that money off of the friggin' off of the ads. So they're getting all that shit for cheap.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right, Mark. They're going to be called New Fox now. Also, I read this article and it's got actually two. It goes now that the universes are going to be merged finally. It's going to fix Marvel, the MCU's villain problem. You know, we know what we're talking about there. We're gonna have Doctor Doom. We're gonna have Magneto, like the badasses. It's gonna be insane, man. You know, I just
Dark Phoenix, possibly.
hold up. I can't right now. I can't. Just thinking about this shit is getting me hyped. By the way, speaking about Dark Phoenix, are they gonna just cancel this fucking movie that's coming out right now?
Yeah, I think
I don't know.
I think any
rumors that
movie
it
that's
might
in
get canceled.
pre-production, I think any movie in pre-production is going to get canceled. Anything that's in production, they'll probably just keep going. Like Deadpool, they're not going to cancel Deadpool. They're putting that shit
No,
out there.
Deadpool's pretty much done.
Exactly.
Yeah, New Mutants also.
New Mutants is going to come out, but Dark Phoenix, I don't even think that's in pre-production yet. You know, I could be wrong. So anything like that, gone. You know, hey, you know what's going to happen? Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver are going to be mutants again in the fucking comics.
You know, and then I was like, they're mutants again in the comics and then in the movies. But like, which version of them do you go with?
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, because we got two
Because
Quicksilvers.
Because we got one Quicksilver's dead, but people like the other Quicksilver anyway, the one in the silver suit.
Yeah.
By the way, quick thing. I just went to the IMDb for the Dark Phoenix movie. Post-production.
Oh, okay. That movie's
So
coming.
they're
That movie's coming
done.
out. That movie's coming out. Yeah, that's right, Robert. They could say mutants again. They could say mutants again. But yeah, the only, again, going back to what we're saying, like, how are they gonna make this work? The only thing I could see happening is, you know, they're gonna have to reboot it. As a matter of fact, I want to quote Charles Singletary. He was like, "Hey, did you notice how they didn't put the title of the fourth Avengers movie? It's because they're gonna call that shit more, you know, Avengers Secret Wars." You know, because remember in the recent Secret Wars, they, even though Marvel didn't follow through with it, they reset the universe, right? They could potentially do that. I think they're gonna have to reset the universe anyway, just because of contractual things. You know what I mean? But now this is good because, you know, we were talking about, like, how is Marvel going to get away with not having Chris Evans and Robert Downey Jr. and all this other shit? If you toss in Wolverine into the bitch, they're going to be real fucking happy, you know?
Yeah.
Well, then they'll bust out a Days of Future Past.
Yeah, exactly. So if you, like, that's a good way of buffering things. It's like, okay.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you can have a bunch of different characters show up on there. You can literally, you know, you could swap out a lot of the Avengers. Be like, hey, look, Beast is on the Avengers now.
Which he was before.
You can do that.
You know?
You can do that now.
Yeah, exactly.
The only one that's only stuck at another studio is fucking Spider-Man.
Yeah, even though he could cross over, but yeah, you're right about that. But we'll
He
see.
can cross over because of that deal that they made with Sony.
Yeah, you're right about that. But, you know, I do still want them to be, okay, not separated in the universe, but separated as far as their own stories. You know what I mean? Like, keep the X-Men stories, X-Men. X-Men and Avengers rarely cross over anyway, you know?
No. You know what? I mean, you can do an X-Men versus Avengers film at some point.
Yeah,
if you
of
ever
course.
wanted to do that. Take all those popular characters and throw them together. But I always feel like what'd be cool is just like there's these world connecting events that I always felt like the Avengers movies were that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like where it's like, okay, you know, they all have their other things going on in their other movies, but then big event.
Yeah.
Movie.
But that's the thing I'm talking about, because every Marvel movie that comes out, at least the way I see it, it all builds up. It's all leading up to the next Avengers movie. That's the way I see it. But X-Men wouldn't exactly do that. X-Men would do its own thing, you know? But at the same time, even though it could do its own thing, then you can have things popping up. You know, you could have an event, an X-Men or two pop up in an Avengers movie. You could have the X-Men pop up. You know what I'm saying? You can have some cross-pollination, but X-Men movies aren't leading up to an Avengers movie. They would be doing their own things, you know?
Yeah, they would.
Oh
but
my
you
God,
could have
it's so
Spider-Man show up in an X-Men film. Hey, what's up, guys?
I can't fucking wait. This is good.
Spider-Man.
Now, granted, I do want to talk about the other thing, because like Brian said, it is kind of scary that Disney is
kinda
literally.
scary, man.
By the way, there was this episode of Parks and Recreation where Patton Oswalt laid out this crazy. Okay, he had an idea for a Star Wars movie, right? And he threw the fucking X-Men in there. He threw Avengers. That movie could actually happen now. A wacky theoretical movie of his could actually happen now, because Disney owns every single one of those properties.
But I think in general, I think they're not going to.
No, you know, just as a joke, it's like, that's kind of interesting how he was saying that shit as a joke, basically, right? And it's actually true. And also, once again, Simpsons, because the Simpsons has been around forever. They predicted this shit. They had it was in the future. It goes 20th Century Fox, owned by Disney. This was like 20 years ago, you know? It's hilarious, man. Also all those jokes that Fox has made about Disney, you know, about Disney himself being a racist and all that shit.
Oh, man.
They own all that now, you know?
So
man.
with all, like, don't want to be a Debbie Downer here, but like also with this deal is going to come a lot of cuts in jobs. There's going to be
Yeah.
a
Oh, yeah.
lot of jobs that are going to be just like not there anymore. Because think about it, Fox had for example a PR department. Disney has a PR department. They're not going to have redundant PR departments for just one company, one huge company now.
Yeah, you're 100% right about that.
Well, I mean,
yeah.
here's the thing, though. I mean, Miramax and all those other studios still have all their own promotion arms. I feel like they're still going to have those things.
Well, I don't know. For example, I think Nintendo, Disney has like 2 animation studios, and
Mhm.
I think Fox had one or is one that's going to come. So who knows if they want to keep that animation
Yeah.
studio? Like we don't know. That's something that
Mhm.
they just might, not decide to not keep. They could disband.
No, you're 100% right about that. And here's the question I want to ask you, right? Because I fall into this camp, right? Because there's a lot of people saying, like, they hear the bad things that are happening. They're like, fuck it, don't care. Got my MCU. Do you think those people are wrong? Because I'm like that. I'm like, because I'm basically going like, the world's kind of getting gobbled up around me, but it's like, yo, but I got this ill ass sandwich I always wanted, man.
Well,
It's still not. It's a good thing. It's a good thing, and it's a bad thing because think about it. That means that they have more control over the things that you want to see.
Yes.
Which means you may not see some of those things.
Yeah. No.
yeah.
You're
For
right.
example, FX is notorious for letting their creators essentially do whatever they want. They have some of the best shows on TV.
Mhm.
Under the Disney umbrella, I don't think they'll have
Will
as
they,
much
yeah,
freedom.
will they? Yeah, will they continue to let them do what things that they want to do?
Yeah. So there could be some stuff that is gonna do a lot better. There's gonna be like obviously Fantastic Four is gonna be way better with Disney.
Yes. Yeah. We're finally getting a real Fantastic Four movie. Finally,
Yeah, so it's stuff like The Simpsons. Nothing like that's not gonna change. It's just gonna
Yeah.
stay the same. It's gonna part of the course. But there's gonna be stuff that's gonna suffer from it, and we still don't know what. And regarding your question, Tony, I don't think it's a bad thing what you're doing, as long as you don't deny the bad stuff as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know there could be a lot because the thing about it, you're essentially like you're seeing a monster growing in front of you. That's pretty much what it is. It's like, oh shit, this motherfucker's feeding, and every time he feeds, he keeps getting bigger and bigger. But you know what I'm saying? But I got this shit out of it, so I can't complain. It's kind of fucked up, but I don't know. I'm gonna not concentrate on it, but definitely a lot of bad things that happen. And the other thing I want to talk about is the whole it's funny we didn't talk about Netflix during the the net neutrality thing, but because right now they obviously have a bunch of Marvel shows, right? And Disney's about to have their own streaming thing. I guarantee you, all those shows are going to be bought up. They're going to be like, yep, we're going to have this shit on our channel. And think about it, that Disney thing, that Disney streaming thing, just became a lot more lucrative because you're going to have all those Fox shows now on that shit. All of that. So it's gonna be crazy. I'm telling you this right now because I have Netflix, but the only thing I watch on is the Marvel shit. As soon as Disney's like, yo, we have a new streaming service, all the Marvel shows, I'm dropping Netflix like a fucking bad habit. I don't need that shit. I'll just get the Disney joint. And we'll see. We'll see about that. But Disney says it'll be cheaper than Netflix, but we'll see about that. Anyway, Brian, go ahead, man.
I don't know. No, just hearing what you said, like my first thought was like, this is like the whole. I don't know. It's like the whole thing with the streaming thing. It's a good idea in terms of business, but in terms of actually how great it is for consumers, it's kind of shitty again. Because now it's like, okay, there's gonna be another streaming partner all buying for like shows now. So now you'll get Netflix with its shows, you get Hulu with its shows, HBO
They
with its
also
shows.
own Hulu, by the way.
Yeah.
Okay,
The
okay.
majority of Hulu.
Yeah. So then, oh man, it just feels like the whole like PC gaming thing again. Where it's like, okay, first there was Steam, and Steam like worked well, and everyone had Steam, it worked well. And then EA was like, nope, we're pulling out. And then Activision's no. Then Ubisoft was like, nope, we're pulling out as well. And then now you have Uplay and Origins. Like the whole point was make things simpler so that you just have one and that's it. But now it's like you have like different ones, and it's just kind of like how much worse can they get? Like, and then obviously these guys are going to be a big contender because they'll have all the Marvel shit, and obviously they'll have Star Wars as well. So it's kind of like this will be like the default go-to for all for all geeks because they have like everything that you want pretty much.
They
Like
have
if you're not a Marvel
Pixar.
fan, then you're a Star Wars fan. Oh, so like you've kind of sorted. So it's like, there'll be a big contender either way. And once they start like, I don't know, you just like don't get me wrong. I think it's a cool thing. Like it's fucking great being able to have like all Star Wars and Disney stuff like on tap like that. But at what cost? That's like my only downside. Like, well, the only thing that's going through my head, like, at what cost will that come at? And it's kind of like I'm not too happy at that, but I'll wait and see. And then also with the whole FCC things, like that's gonna make things even worse. So I'm like, this is
Well, the
terrifying.
thing is that if you think about it, the FCC thing will affect Disney. If they have a streaming service, they don't have a cable network. They have a streaming service with all these things on there.
Yeah, net neutrality. Yeah,
Shit, shit in a handbasket. They're gonna be like, no fucking way, because they know that people will they'll start to get throttled.
Yo, yo, Mark just posted. Disney will just buy the FCC.
Just go buy the FCC. They have enough money, right?
See, we say that as a joke, but given what Disney have done, and given the fact that the whole thing, like, oh, GTA is here for like 10 years and the NPDs, like, it's one of those jokes that may turn out to be true. Like, well, the biggest joke in the world is Trump being president, and look what happened then. So I don't know. I'm like kind of in the realm of like, yeah, we making like these jokes about things that will never happen. Oh, it's funny if they do happen, but we're living in a reality where these jokes are happening, and it's terrifying.
idiocracy, right?
Yeah.
The Simpsons also predicted Trump as well.
They did. Simpsons again. Simpsons have been around so long. They predicted a lot of shit. Oh man! But it's one of those things. Like I'm seeing the monster growing in front of me, but I'm just too happy to care. You know what I'm saying? It's like I'm being instructed by a really hot woman over here. It's like, yo, my man, don't you see what's happening over here? Potentially some bad. Yo, but look at them titties though, man. Like that's how I feel right now. But right now, I'm hyped. You know, I'm happy about this. But we won't see any of this shit really take effect for a little bit. You know.
Yeah, it still needs to get approved. That could take up to 18 months. That's what I've been seeing online. So
Okay, 18 months. Okay.
this won't Fantastic Four in in the next in the second Infinity War movie is not gonna happen.
Nah, no way, no way. Hey man, here's my question to you though: how long until this starts affecting the actual comic books?
The comic books can be affected as quickly as possible because you got to remember comic books are done in a monthly basis.
That's why I'm asking you that specifically because obviously with the movies it's going to take a little while. Comics could be a lot faster.
Comics,
like here's my question to you: do you think potentially, again, I'm asking you because you're the comic guy here. You think potentially we could have a new Fantastic Four book by the end of next year?
I think that sounds possible. Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I figured. Because again, comics.
I mean, here's the thing: is they could start the beginnings of that right now.
Yeah, they can. And also then, they have the new editor in chief there, who's probably going to start. He's probably already getting things rolling.
Well, Marvel has already said in advance that they're already going to start trying to push more X-Men stuff.
Good. That's fantastic.
They've said this before, whether they were going to start putting more X-Men stuff out there because stuff like that and. I mean, I don't know exactly what other plans that they have, but I'm sure that definitely that this year, the end of this year and all this stuff, they're probably already talking about the next things for this year. But I feel like a lot of the books are in what I call a stasis field.
Well, right now they need to finish up whatever was under the last editor.
Yeah, they need to finish they need to finish up whatever books or whatever things that are going to be they are going to be doing. I remember at some point they said they were to chop down the amount of books they were going to be putting out there. I think they released a press release about that
I remember that
a while ago. So I mean, I feel like that's part of the stuff we're going to start seeing. They're probably going to start closing out some of the books, or they're coming to a close, or whatever, and then start up something new. But I feel like a lot of the books are in that kind of somewhat stasis field where it's like there's a story happening, but it's there's not a really big overarching thing happening. They're not leading to much at the end.
Yeah, they're in hover mode. A couple of things, because Daniel's asking in the comments. He goes, I thought the comics were their own universe. Yes, they are, but the thing is, what happens in the real world affected the comics too, because they try to make the comics more like the movies, and also the whole pettiness they had between Fox and Marvel kind of affected. That's why they canceled Fantastic Four. I don't give a fuck what Marvel says about low sales. Fantastic Four was selling very, very well. They canceled that shit because they didn't own the movie rights. That's why they did that shit purely out of pettiness. Think about it like this: Fantastic Four was, when it was canceled, it was selling more books that are considered now hits. It's like, no, man.
You ever notice how all of a sudden Peter Quill looks like Chris Pratt from the movie?
Yeah.
All of a sudden he looks that way. All of a sudden Rocket Raccoon is wearing orange like he did in the original in Guardians of the Galaxy. You know, now what's his face? Drax the Destroyer looks like Drax the Destroyer from Guardians of the Galaxy. They're trying to, in a lot of ways, they know that they know people in general are familiar with the movie counterparts, so they're slowly, in general, moving their Marvel characters in that sort of direction.
Yeah, exactly. And same thing with Tony Stark, because I stopped reading Marvel after One More Day, which was 2006, 2007. I came back to read Marvel about 2 years ago, and I'm like, this isn't Tony Stark I remember. This guy sounds like Robert Downey Jr. now. You know?
Yeah, they gave him the personality of Robert Downey Jr. because, I don't know, to be honest, Iron Man didn't have a personality.
He did, but it was like, the rich guy.
It was like, hey, I'm drunk.
Yeah, pretty much.
Rich guy drunk. That's all it was. It wasn't until Robert Downey Jr. kind of nailed down that sort of kind of play guy, sort of personality. That's when the book started to kind of replicate that.
Man, I hope that happens for Miss Marvel, man, because Miss Marvel don't have any fucking personality right now in the comics.
There are in general, I feel like Miss Marvel is a very much of a blank slate, because they've tried to push her before as the Wonder Woman of Marvel,
and it didn't work.
But I feel like in general, she is not as interesting enough of a character to have there. To be honest, the what's her face from Next Wave was a much more interesting Captain Marvel than her.
Yeah, exactly. By the way, very interesting, because you know how usually when they make these movies or TV shows, they always like reference the comics and all that. The producers of Miss Marvel specifically said, like, yeah, we don't really have a lot to go with here. They flat out said that.
They don't have a lot because she doesn't have that defining personality. You know what made the original Iron Man work so well? It's because of Robert Downey Jr.'s ability to kind of ad-lib and add his own personality, a personality to the character. And that's how he became like so loved. Nobody gave a shit about fucking Iron Man that much before that. I mean, granted, he had cool books, but I mean, there's only so many times you can do Demon in a Bottle, and they did it like 1,000 times.
Demon in a Bottle or Armor Wars,
And Armor Wars, it's like, you're stealing my shit. I'm a fucking drunk. That's all it is.
Remember when Iron Man was first announced, the headlines were like, "Oh, here come the B movie guys now," like the B listers, like they were like, "This guy's a joke. It's fucking Iron Man," Yeah,
Iron Man is cool, but the thing is that he never had that sort of personality until Robert Downey Jr. got into that character.
Yeah. So that's the point.
I even feel in a lot of ways, and I notice what's happening too with Doctor Strange.
Yeah,
Doctor Strange is a cool character in general, but I definitely think having a personality like Benedict Cumberbatch underneath that also gives him a little bit more to be with.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Solidifies his personality. There was only a few characters that you can definitely say had a personality, like a dead-on straight personality. That's Captain America, which is exactly what he is.
Yeah,
in the
he's
show.
the same. He's
exactly the same. The fish out of water, old guy. To the stuff. Fight for what's right. That's that guy. Friggin' Spider-Man, same thing. He is the same in the comics as he is in there. Deadpool, he's the same as he is in the comics as he is in the movies.
Yeah, we could go on. Wolverine has a personality.
Yeah, definitely. Wolverine is one of those guys that you notice. Who are the popular characters? These characters that have these really solid personalities that people can relate to. I mean, I like Cyclops, but I know he's a fucking post.
Yeah, he is.
He's like,
hey, you know who we're gonna have soon, right? Oh, what a revolting development! Like that, the thing has a personality.
The thing is also considered a really popular character because of just the way he is. And playing up that family dynamic of the Fantastic Four with them fighting and being stupid.
Yeah,
you
man.
know?
Yeah, exactly. It's like the Thing's throwing crap at Johnny. He's throwing fireballs at him. Reed Richards, even Reed Richards has a crazy personality too. It's like it all works, But
it all works out.
Yeah, so it'll be good. But I don't know how we got off on that track. But yes, comic books should probably see some kind of shift pretty soon. And again, since we also have a new editor-in-chief there, who will hopefully get rid of some of these bullshit writers. You know who I'm talking about,
I was actually about to ask, do you think that the whole change in shifts of the editor was because that Disney had this in the works? They were
That's a great question. I don't believe so. I think it's because, let's just be real here, Marvel Legacy bombed and they got rid of Alonso. If a Legacy sold, they would have kept him, But because Marvel's been draining money for years now, the Marvel comics, and Disney probably said, yeah, all right, we're done with this shit. You're done, But that is a good question though, because this wasn't just dropped on their lap today. They must have known for weeks now, if not months.
Well, no, I mean, I'm sure they did know these sorts of things were in the works. I don't think they were fully surprised about that sort of thing. Usually, when these sorts of things come across, like when this one thing happened at DC where they fired, I think, one of the writers or an editor, I can't remember. I literally got an email like beforehand talking about this situation. And then I told, then I was like, hey, hey, Tony, have you heard this yet? And he goes, no. And then he said, oh, wait, it just showed up now.
Yeah, pretty much.
So they usually kind of let it, usually there's pretty fair warning as to what might be coming up, quite, especially if there's something, something involved.
Yeah. All right, Daniel, you're getting ahead of yourself, man. He goes, I want a Dark Claw movie. Unless when fucking Disney buys WB, then maybe. For you guys who don't know, Dark Claw was a mesh of Wolverine and Batman in the amalgam universe.
Yeah, well, I mean, there was, one thing you didn't know about DC during the New 52 era, the fucking Warner Brothers was thinking about selling the comic arm.
Yeah, they were going to sell that shit. That's why they did that rebirth real quick, Yeah,
that's why all that stuff happened. Like the New 52 did really well for them, and then they found out it didn't work out well, and they kind of rebooted a reboot.
Yeah, pretty much. What's going on, show on? Yeah, so we'll see how this goes, man. I'm excited. I'm excited for the comics, excited for the movies, We'll see about that. And, I guess we'll worry about the repercussions later on, It's crazy, man. All right, I think that's pretty much it for the show here. So a couple of things here. I need to talk to Brett about this too, because, okay, anyway, next week we're going to have our, not this Sunday, I'm talking about next week. We're going to have the last two shows of the year, the last Throwdown and the last 3 questions. They're going to be episode 164 each, right? Since Sunday is Christmas Eve, we're going to move Throw Down Your Questions up a little bit, right? But I just remembered that Brett works on Fridays, right? So I think what we're going to do is, because, the Throw Down Your Questions, Throw Down 164, I don't have to worry about show notes. I know what we're going to do that day, So I think what we're going to do is we're going to do Throw Down on Wednesday night and then Throw Down Your Questions on Thursday night, Okay. I think that'll work out the best because, again, we can't do the show on Sunday because that's Christmas Eve,
Mm-hmm.
And again, we don't have to worry about show, like, oh, what news is going to happen next week? We're not doing news next week. We're doing Game of the Year, most anticipated games, shit like that, like we did last time. I think that'll work. So, yeah, Wednesday and Thursday. We'll give you more details on this Sunday because we will be back then. I know it's going to be somebody, yo, you guys are recording this weekend, man? I didn't know that shit. Like we told you.
Yes.
It's hilarious, man. So, yeah, that's going to do it for us. So, thank you for watching and listening. Subscribe to Throw It Down on SoundCloud, iTunes, and YouTube. Follow us on Twitch, Mixer, Twitter, and Facebook at Throwdown Show. Links are located in the description below. Once again, our show is Tony Polanco. And tonight, shown by Emilio Lopez.
See you later, guys.
Carlos Romero.
I don't get to see The Last Jedi till Saturday, so I need to steer clear of those spoilers.
And Brian Monjoma.
Oh my gosh, I swear Disney should buy me. All the money's in the world, I swear.
Yeah, All right, man. So we'll see you this Sunday later. Sunday. All right, man, later.
Later, guys.
Peace.
Peace out, people.